The Met Gala is known for fashion risks, unforgettable statements and bold interpretations of each year's theme. But not every look hits the mark, and some completely miss it. From awkward tailoring to over-the-top accessories, this year's red carpet delivered a few major misfires that had everyone talking. Whether it was a style gone wrong or a theme lost in translation, these outfits made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Join us as we talk about the absolute worst-dressed celebrities at the 2025 Met Gala. Nicole Scherzinger. Among the absolute worst-dressed celebs at the 2025 Met Gala, Nicole Scherzinger's look was a surprising letdown. Known for her glamorous style and striking stage presence, many expected her to deliver a red carpet knockout. Instead, she showed up in a metallic body-hugging gown that felt more like a futuristic costume party reject than Met Gala elegance. The theme this year was Garden of Time, a dreamy concept inviting fantasy, nostalgia, and whimsy. But Nicole's outfit clashed completely, with stiff silver fabric and awkwardly placed cutouts. The dress looked like it belonged in a sci-fi movie from the early 2000s. What made things worse was the overall styling. Her hair was slicked back so tightly it looked painful, and while her skin did glow thanks to Vita Liberata's body blur, it couldn't distract from the messy outfit. It was almost as if all the effort went into the skin and none into the fashion. The gown's odd texture reflected flash bulbs in a harsh way, making her look washed out instead of radiant. The entire ensemble missed the mark, dramatic, but not in a good way. With a few tweaks, this could have been a showstopper, but instead it landed her squarely on our worst-dressed list. Lorde. Honestly, this is perhaps the worst outfit of the evening. Lorde returned to the Met Gala after a 4-year break and expectations were high, but her silver Tom Brown ensemble left many scratching their heads. The bandeau top, seemingly floating without any support, felt more like a strange science experiment than a piece of couture. While the fabric's shimmer was eye-catching under the lights, the overall look felt confusing and unfinished. She paired the top with a layered silver maxi skirt that brought back memories of early 2000s bandage dresses, and not in a good way. The texture and cut looked bulky and outdated, completely lacking the grace or edge we usually expect from her. A matching suit jacket draped over her arms didn't help, only adding to the look's identity crisis. Lorde's natural makeup and soft braid, which included a silver fish charm, were lovely, but they couldn't rescue the awkward outfit. The entire look lacked the creativity and thoughtfulness she's known for. It felt like she was trying to mix minimalism with fantasy but didn't commit to either. For a night that celebrates bold and tailored fashion, this look missed both the theme and the wow factor. Gayle King made headlines recently for her trip to space, but unfortunately her return to Earth wasn't much softer, at least not when it came to her 2025 Met Gala outfit. Dressed in a bright hot pink halter gown by designer Chucks Collins, Gayle definitely turned heads but not for the right reasons. The dress, inspired by menswear, tried to balance structure and flair, but it ended up feeling like too many ideas stuffed into one look. The top was a tuxedo-style corset, which could have been clever, but it clashed with the peplum waist in a heavy tartan skirt. That plaid pattern alone looked like it belonged in a high school musical costume closet. Add on the sparkling floral appliques and the result was a visual overload. The dress felt dated, like something pulled from a decade-old red carpet, not a high-fashion tribute to tailoring black style. And while Collins is known for impeccable structure, this piece missed the mark. The skirt was far too long and lacked the polish needed for such a big night. The tailoring that should have brought strength to the outfit ended up dragging it down, literally. Gayle has presence and charm, but no personality could save this clashing, confused dress. Hailey Bieber. The most boring outfit of the night sadly belonged to Hailey Bieber. At an event built on over-the-top fashion and bold self-expression, she showed up in what looked like a last-minute decision, just a plain black tuxedo jacket and sheer tights. That's it. For the Met Gala, a night where fantasy meets fashion, this look felt not just safe, it felt lazy. Hailey's Saint Laurent blazer was beautifully tailored, but without pants, a statement piece, or any real visual drama, the look felt flat. The tights had tiny rhinestone YSL logos, but they barely added anything noticeable. Her sky-high black platforms screamed nightclub more than couture. She did try to elevate things with major jewelry, a 25-carat diamond necklace, giant earrings, and a vintage cocktail watch. But even those pieces couldn't distract from how underwhelming the overall styling was. The worst part? This was supposed to be her edgy twist on the classic tuxedo, but it came off more like she forgot the rest of her outfit at home. Dandism, the theme's inspiration, is all about flair, color, and personality, and Hailey's outfit had none. Not even the martini she carried while leaving her hotel could add flavor to this fashion misfire. Kendall Jenner. Kendall Jenner came to the event with Hailey Bieber, and sadly her outfit was just as forgettable. Known for bold fashion choices and jaw-dropping Met Gala moments, Kendall shocked everyone this year, but for all the wrong reasons. She wore a grey tailored suit by Tori Xiaoju consisting of a low-cut blazer and a matching floor-length skirt. While technically well-fitted, the color choice and overall styling drained every drop of excitement from the look. The grey tone leaned more corporate boardroom than high-fashion spectacle. It was dull, lifeless, and completely missed the theme spirit of dandism, which thrives on flair, drama, and expression. Kendall's version of minimal and tailored translated into boring and safe. The skirt, although sleek, lacked movement and energy. A pastel color or even a bold accessory could have added something, anything, to elevate it. Instead, she stayed firmly in neutral territory. She wore a multi-layered diamond necklace, which was beautiful, but couldn't break through the overall blandness. And considering Kendall's history of taking fashion risks, this subdued look felt like a retreat. Tori Xiaoju's craftsmanship deserved a moment to shine, but this pairing didn't give it room to breathe. On a night built for fantasy and fashion dreams, Kendall delivered a look better suited for a quiet awards dinner, not the Met Gala. Kim Kardashian. Disappointing doesn't even begin to cover Kim Kardashian's 2025 Met Gala look. Known for making headlines with her bold red carpet fashion, this time she showed up in a black leather chrome hearts dress that felt more biker bar than Met Gala masterpiece. The bodycon gown hugged her famous curves, but that's about all it did. It lacked imagination, drama, and any real connection to the theme of the night. The dress featured a corseted bustier with an asymmetrical neckline and one exaggerated shoulder detail that looked like an afterthought. Paired with a large black fedora that threw shadows across her face, the whole ensemble felt heavy and dark, not elegant, not edgy, just flat. The accessories, including layered diamond necklaces and earrings, couldn't lift the look out of its awkward place between underwhelming and overdone. To make matters worse, Kim had an unexpected nail malfunction right on the red carpet. As she adjusted her corset, one of her fake nails popped off, and a security guard had to pick it up for her. She managed to keep posing, hiding her hand, but the moment added a strange layer of chaos to an already unremarkable outfit. Sabrina Carpenter showed up at the 2025 Met Gala with energy and confidence, but sadly her outfit just didn't live up to the moment. Wearing a Merlot pinstriped bodysuit paired with a cropped Louis Vuitton blazer, she went for a no-pants look that felt more like a performance costume than a high-fashion statement. The attempt at tailoring may have nodded to the theme, but the execution missed the mark entirely. The fit was sharp, yes, and the color was rich, but the lack of balance made the entire ensemble feel awkward. The oversized blazer looked too short to work as outerwear, while the bodysuit underneath felt unfinished and out of place on such a major red carpet. Without pants, the look leaned into novelty rather than elegance, and no amount of sky-high heels could fix that. There was also an unnecessary train attached to the back, a thin, wispy fabric that seemed like it was added last minute, as if someone realized the look needed more drama but didn't know how to deliver it. Pharrell Williams may have played a role in styling, but even his influence couldn't save this from looking like a fashion experiment gone wrong. Of course, it's not just women who missed the mark at the 2025 Met Gala. Walton Goggins deserves his own chapter in the style misfire files. Making his debut at fashion's biggest night, the White Lotus star took a bold risk, but instead of pulling off something fresh or tailored to the theme, his look felt like a fashion school experiment gone wrong. Wearing Tom Brown, Goggins stepped out in a long black inside-out skirt paired with a matching overcoat that was also intentionally reversed. The concept was clear, deconstruction meets high tailoring, but the execution was messy and awkward. The exposed seams, raw edges, and flipped fabrics made him look like he got dressed in the dark or was halfway through a backstage costume change. While Brown is known for avant-garde tailoring, This felt more gimmicky than groundbreaking. He topped the outfit with a plain white shirt and black tie, and while that combo could have grounded the look, it only made the rest seem more chaotic. Nothing tied together, not even the sleek styling or his red carpet composure could distract from how unfinished and forced it all felt. Kylie Jenner walked the 2025 Met Gala red carpet with confidence, but her look was more confusing than captivating. She wore a stormy grey Ferragamo ensemble that tried to be futuristic and edgy but ended up feeling overly complicated and not very flattering. The outfit included a tight corseted bralette, a dramatically low-slung skirt with a high slit, sheer opera gloves, and a pair of towering black strappy stilettos, which quite literally became her downfall. The overall vibe seemed to reach for sleek and modern, but instead it came across as disjointed and cold. The sheer gloves added an odd vintage touch that clashed with the sci-fi feel of the rest. The bralette felt too harsh against the softness of the gloves, and the skirt's awkward fit didn't help. It wasn't glamorous or elegant, it was just trying too hard. But the worst part wasn't even the outfit itself, it was the drama behind the scenes. Following bad advice from Ferragamo's creative director, Kylie taped her feet into her shoes, only to find herself completely stuck. Her team had to spray glue solvent onto her skin to free her, and she screamed in pain as they worked. A little while ago we mentioned a couple of people who missed the topic, but Shakira might take the crown for most off-the-theme look of the night at the 2025 Met Gala, where the theme was superfine tailoring, black style. The Colombian superstar floated in wearing a cotton candy pink gown that looked more like a prom dress than a fashion-forward statement. Designed by Prabal Gurung, the massive dress featured a sweetheart neckline and an exaggerated train. That required 3 people just to keep it moving. While the gown was undeniably beautiful in a fairy tale kind of way, it had no real connection to tailoring, dandyism, or the celebration of black designers and structured fashion. It was soft, flowing, and overly feminine, the complete opposite of the bold tailored energy that defined the night. As star after star showed up in sharp suits, deconstructed blazers, and strong silhouettes, Shakira's bright puffy entrance felt like she wandered into the wrong event. The internet didn't hold back either. Social media buzzed with comments questioning if she even read the invite. A clip of her struggling to walk in the heavy gown only added fuel to the fire. Yes, Shakira dazzled, but for all the wrong reasons. 8. Chappell ran. I don't know about you, but Chappell Rant's Met Gala debut felt more like a stage costume than a fashion moment. The rising pop star certainly made an entrance in her hot pink outfit, but it quickly went from fun to overwhelming. She began the night in an enormous patterned cape covered in magenta tinsel so big it needed a team to carry it. While dramatic reveals can be exciting, this one felt unnecessary and out of place. Once the cape was removed, Chappell revealed a matching pink blazer and flared pants, but the look didn't improve, in fact, it got more confusing. The pants were slit to show off jeweled boots, which added yet another texture and sparkle layer to an already chaotic outfit. Her hair was styled into massive curls with thick bangs, and her makeup was glittery, theatrical, and topped with chrome lashes and rhinestones. It all screamed disco diva, but more like a Halloween version of Studio 54. Yes, the glam was bold and yes, she leaned into the maximalist vibe, but it completely missed the elegance and refined edge of this year's tailoring theme. Chappell Ran is clearly having a fashion moment, but this one went too far. 7. Amelia Gray. Amelia Gray will be remembered this year as one of the most confusing fashion choices on the 2025 Met Gala carpet. While the theme was super fine tailoring black style, Amelia arrived in a lace-covered bow-heavy red bodysuit by Valentino that felt more like a Valentine's Day lingerie ad than a tribute to sharp tailoring. The outfit was packed with trends, bows, tights, lace, and even a dramatic train, but none of them worked together. It was a chaotic mashup rather than a focused fashion statement. Her lacy bodysuit hugged her frame and might have turned heads on another red carpet, but for the Met Gala, it felt underwhelming and tone-deaf. The tights did nothing to elevate the look, and the added train dragged behind her like an afterthought rather than a dramatic centerpiece. Instead of refined tailoring, we got a costume that seemed more fit for a fashion school final project. Then came the sunglasses. Indoors. On a night celebrating detailed craftsmanship and storytelling through style, Ray-Bans were just the wrong kind of cool. Even her beautiful jewelry couldn't help, it just got lost in the mess of textures and accessories. Last year she wore a light-up dress. This year she went with lace and bows. Maybe next year she'll find a middle ground. And the theme. 6. Joey King. Joey King, on the other hand, guessed the theme of the event but still managed to miss the moment. For her Met Gala debut, the 25-year-old actress teamed up with Mayu and stepped onto the red carpet in a deep green suit that technically fit the tailored-for-you dress code. But unfortunately, it just didn't work. From the color to the cut, the entire look fell flat. The rich green shade had potential, but something about the fabric made it look stiff and unflattering under the bright lights. The tailoring wasn't sharp enough to be sleek, and it wasn't oversized enough to be playful. It landed in a strange in-between zone that lacked impact. The lapels felt awkwardly narrow and the fit of the pants was neither refined nor bold, just there. To make matters worse, the overall styling was underwhelming. Her hair and makeup didn't elevate the outfit, and without standout accessories or unexpected details, the look faded fast from memory. Yes, Joey was technically on theme, but in a room full of strong silhouettes, rich textures, and thoughtful risks, this one felt like a missed opportunity. 5. Mary J. Blige. A legend like Mary J. Blige deserves a Met Gala look as powerful as her presence, but sadly, her 2025 appearance fell far short of that. Teaming up with Stella McCartney, Mary wore a cream pinstriped suit and floor-length coat that tried to blend masculine tailoring with high-fashion elegance. Instead, it looked bulky, unbalanced, and flat-out uninspired. The idea of oversized shoulders and flowing trousers had potential, but the execution felt clumsy. The cropped blazer didn't flatter her frame, and the long coat only dragged the look down more. The tailoring, which should have celebrated her strength and style, came off awkward and stiff. The ensemble lacked the crispness and drama that great suiting demands, especially on a night dedicated to tailoring. But the real disappointment. That gold wire fedora. It was meant to be avant-garde, but ended up looking like a science fair project on her head. It didn't match the suit's tone or structure, and instead of elevating the outfit, it became the one detail everyone couldn't unsee, for the wrong reasons. Mary J. Blige is a fashion icon in her own right, and she's proven time and time again she can own a red carpet. But this look missed the mark completely. 4. Heidi Klum. The next celebrity on our list is none other than Heidi Klum. Making her Met Gala return after a 12-year break, expectations were high, but her look sadly didn't live up to the hype. Designed by Gorham Vesalia of Vetements, Heidi stepped onto the blue carpet in a simple black gown that, while technically well-tailored, lacked the drama and imagination we've come to expect from fashion's biggest night. The dress featured a column silhouette with a long trailing train and was meant to celebrate subtle tailoring hidden beneath draped fabric. But in practice, it just looked plain. Nothing about the outfit stood out. No unique textures, no bold colors, no surprising details. It was minimal to a fault. On a night meant to celebrate creativity and culture through fashion, Heidi's look felt more like something you'd wear to a formal dinner than an iconic style event. Even the accessories, including a giant floating diamond suspended on fishing wire, felt more gimmicky than glamorous. Her glowing makeup and polished hair were flawless, but they couldn't save the outfit from blending into the background. Heidi is a supermodel who knows how to turn heads, but this look didn't make a statement. It whispered and then disappeared. 3. Emma Chamberlain. No matter how good experimentation is, the look Emma Chamberlain wore was, well, too much for the 2025 Met Gala. She showed up in a custom Courage's gown that tried to blend tailoring with sex appeal, but in the end, it felt like a costume teetering on the edge of a wardrobe malfunction. The backless design, deep plunge, and structured lapel gave the illusion of a deconstructed suit, but it looked more like an undone jacket barely hanging on with buttons. A breast pocket complete with a bright red square and a satin tie across the back, the dress gave nods to the tailoring theme, but the execution felt clumsy. The top was so risky that it looked like a slight breeze could have caused a headline-making slip. Emma paired the dress with sheer opera gloves, translucent tights, silver-framed glasses, and sharp Weitzman pumps. While these details could have added polish, they instead felt like extras thrown in to distract from a dress that wasn't working. Her makeup was bold with purple eyeshadow and a spiky pixie haircut to match her spooky vibes, but the overall result was more disjointed than daring. Emma is known for taking risks, but this one was all shock. 2. Maya Hawke. Maya Hawke showed up at the 2025 Met Gala looking more like Little Bland Riding Hood than a red carpet standout. While her look was soft and sweet, it completely missed the bold spirit of the evening. She wore a pale pink strapless gown paired with a sheer cape-like wrap in a dull beige tone that resembled the color of a paper bag, and sadly, that's exactly how the outfit landed, crumpled and forgettable. The gown itself was simple, but not in a refined or elegant way, just underwhelming. The color palette did her no favors, washing her out under the bright lights and making her blend into the background instead of owning the spotlight. The fabric had no real structure, no tailored edge, and didn't speak to the night's theme of superfine tailoring, black style. It lacked any hint of creativity, detail, or cultural reference. The cape added a layer, but not one of interest. It floated behind her like a half-finished idea, offering no drama or movement, just a shrug of beige. The overall effect was more bedtime fairytale than high-fashion moment. Maya Hawke is undeniably charming, but this look didn't give her anything to shine through. 1. Tracee Ellis Ross. Strange outfit choices aren't new for Tracee Ellis Ross, but her 2025 Met Gala look might be her most chaotic yet. Dressed in a voluminous Marc Jacobs ensemble that looked like a mashup of bubblegum gift wrap and a cartoon character's closet, Tracee made a loud entrance, but not in the way fashion lovers hoped. She wore oversized hot pink pants paired with a maroon blazer, a crisp white top, and a gigantic over-the-top bow wrapped around her waist and trailing behind her. The look was topped with a wide-brimmed dusty rose hat that instantly made her look like Carmen Sandiego after losing a bet at a candy store. It was dramatic, sure, but also crowded, messy, and confusing. The clashing shades of red and pink only made things worse as the outfit fought with itself for attention. Tracee said she was channeling animated joy, but the result was more costume than couture. Even the tailoring, which should have been the heart of the look, was lost under all the extra fabric and accessories. The intention may have been playful elegance, but the execution was more like a fashion blender on high speed.